You're listening to Heart Podcast with Lina Kevlani. Artezaar.com, online art gallery.
Hey, welcome to the Heart Podcast. I'm Lina Kevlani from Artezaar.com online art gallery. This is a show for creative possibilities, and today we're actually meeting somebody who's not related to art, but has actually ventured from media into a very different creative possibility, and she's done something very creative with her business. Please welcome Tamanna Moolchandani from Cafe 971. How are you, Tamanna?
Good morning. I'm very well. Thank you for having me on this.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So Tamanna and I, just a bit of background, we used to work together in the same agency. And Tamanna has actually, over the years, left media, like I did. I went into art and she went into food.
Yes, food's always been my calling. But yeah, media is where we met, and it's been a beautiful journey from there.
It has. I remember Tamanna coming into work with a lot of goodies. We used to go
I was the official caterer back then of the agency. I'm now the official caterer of most of Dubai's private events and getting into the corporate space as well.
That's amazing. So how did you get into food? Where did you find this passion for food?
So I've been a foodie. If anybody knows me just by sheer size, you would know that, food's always been my thing. But I enjoyed cooking as well growing up. Actually, from my grandmom, my dad's mom. I learned my passion from her, learned a lot of, tricks and easy ways out from her. And it was always in me, actually, to cook. Like Lina said, I used them, I think, as my guinea pigs through the years to try different things and, whip up curate, be creative, basically. And then just one thing led to the other, and I think COVID happened and everybody, picked up their chef hats and aprons, and then I just turned it into a business.
That's amazing. So during COVID, you launched Cafe 971.
So I did dabble with having a small container, food truck type, while I was at the agency, but I had shut that down because food business really needs your 100% attention. So I had called it Cafe 971 back then, but I just kept the brand alive in terms of social and the branding and stuff. And I said, maybe one day
you'll get into
move into something else. And here we are.
Wow. So what kind of food do you create? Because I know you never did the typical stuff.
So I'm Singaporean by nationality, of born-ish there, grew up there. Obviously, a lot of influence of India, Pakistan, Sindhi by birth. So I've got a lot of mixed flavors growing up. I've grown up in a place where Singapore is again a melting pot of flavors, whether Malaysian, Chinese, Indian, South Indian. So I like to play around with my food. If I do a butter chicken, it isn't butter chicken and naan or butter chicken and rice. It's butter chicken, naan pizza or a butter chicken slider. If I'm doing a vada pav, it has a cheese burst in it. So just basically curating and trying to be creative with food, which is what I was doing with advertising and media, I think, for so many years. So, being creative is in my blood. And now I'm just doing it with food. And even with the Pan Asian, even my serving styles are very, I would say, quirky. And my plating styles and garnishing styles are very different. So, yeah.
That's amazing. And when you're coming up with these recipes, do you sit and plan them, or is it spontaneous in the kitchen? Let's try this today. And
so it's funny because if you ask my family, I'll just go into the kitchen and then I'll whip up something and they're like, oh my God, this is just... And then I turn around to them and I'm like, okay, now never ask me to make that again, because I have no idea what I put in that. I have no idea what ingredients went in that and how much of it. And that's how I actually started, right? And then when I got into the F&B business, I realized jam. This is a science. I need to know how many grams. It's not swad anusad, and it's not like, as per taste. So that was a struggle for me, but I actually am very creative just by tasting something or seeing something, and then seeing a sauce, and then I can imagine it, and then now I don't do a lot of cooking myself, but I get the chefs to kind of whip up something that's in my head. And I would say 8 out of 10 times it turns out,
the way you wanted it.
The way I want.
And then when you say you plate it creatively, how do you?
So I don't like to say this, but I detest chefing dishes and buffets, and because I'm predominantly Pan Asian Oriental food, I feel they taste that nothing tastes better than a freshly wok tossed noodles and stir fry. So, and if I leave it in the chefing dish and it's just brewing for hours, or I put it out on a platter and it's just eaten cold, a dumpling, it's no fun. So I actually specialize in pass arounds, and that means even my main course is pass around, right? So if I'm serving an Indonesian yellow coconut curry, it comes in a coconut shell individually portioned for you. You can have a second one if you want, but at least this way you get to try everything and the serving styles, because I feel people eat with their eyes before even the taste. So the presentation is like utmost important.
Oh, that is fantastic, guys. I'm dropping her cafe's link below. Please have a look. Her Instagram is here as well. Have a look at all the creative options and how she's actually explored food from a creative perspective, and not from your usual catering that we normally get in buffet style. And
yeah, I mean, I do have clients who are used to that. So I try and do a mix between the two. And then I tell them that with the buffet, then I need to be very picky what goes in the buffet. I will not just have something lying there in a corn flour for hours and brewing. It won't happen like that. So I'm particular, and if client insists that they want it that way, then I would turn down the client, because for me, quality, consistency, reputation, my business runs on word of mouth. I've not put a single dirham, even though I'm from the media. I haven't put a single dirham on the media, right? It's all been organic and word of mouth. Yes, I have a social page where we organically post, but I haven't put this thing to push, because I really feel, especially for the private sector, you won't go to a caterer that you just see an ad of a beautiful picture of.
You'll ask
it's all
your
very
friend.
Word of mouth and recommendation. And so I've brought this business from strength to strength, really word of mouth. So I'm very, very particular on consistency and quality. I have launched our corporate division a couple of months ago at the start of this year, and that's growing as well, leaps and bounds.
Touch wood.
From daily meals that some of the corporates do, to weekly gatherings, CEO breakfast with Zurich, or inductions with a Sun and Sand group every week. I have that as well. So I'm now trying to diversify the business into different parallels, because that's the only way to grow.
I think that's fantastic, from private to corporate. Because we used to do so many corporate events, remember? And it was such a thing.
That's like when you say, where did you start? And if I remember, I must thank Nahid, and I will send you this link,
Nahid.
Because she really loved my food, which I would get in. And every gathering or breast cancer, it would be like, Tammy's going to get the food, or Tammy's going to have her counter. And my food would be sold out the first on the breast cancer. So I got a lot of encouragement and, blessings from there. So yes, definitely Nahid and everybody at MEC have a big, big hand to play. And that's what I said. If I can do corporate at MEC and start small while I was working there, why not, try it while I'm now doing my own thing. And with the private sector, obviously, the events are predominantly weekend based, right? Mm-hmm. And I've built my own kitchen and obviously have, now overheads and stuff. So I had to think about it, that how do I cover up? And the corporates were scary, because I've not done this. I'm not a professional restaurateur or chef, or I don't have F&B background. But I've decided to take baby steps. So I started with one, and then, that went on for like 6 months. And I had people say, put it out, send your people out, go and bring more, corporate business. I said, you know what, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. F&B business is very, very, very unforgiving. One mistake and 200 people know about it. One great meal and 20 people know about it, right? So, and again, obviously with municipality and health and safety. So I'll be really particular and ensure that quality and consistency, even on a corporate level, even though, profitability is lower and whatnot, is maintained.
It's the passion for the food. And you must be very passionate about the ingredients then.
Oh, I'm a stickler. Like I never meet my head chef. I think he would tell you how much he detests me because of a certain brand of a certain ingredient is out of stock. I will pull that dish off the menu. It's as simple as that. But we can get no, you can't get another one. I will not accept it because this dish was curated using this brand and this flavor. And again, because we live in a country where we import a lot of stuff, there have been brands that have been discontinued. Then I explore, and if I cannot get the same taste, then I just remove that dish permanently. I won't compromise on, like you said, on ingredients at all. Even if it's I met a man recently, and he runs a very successful F&B business locally. And after listening to me, he said, "Oh, you're never going to make money." He's your chashkas and your this and your ingredients, and he's like, and he is very successful F&B, and he doesn't know how to make a cup of tea. By the way, he's like, I have no idea how to cook, but he runs a successful. So that's the other thing I've learned over the last couple of months, that to run a successful business, yes, okay, it's great that I know food and I know how to cook, but the business angle and the finance and the economic angle is very important. Creative, ek taraf, on one side. I've actually now had to join a business mentor and a business forum. And they've really helped me over the last 3-4 months. And I think it's important for every new business, every business owner to have a business mentor and to join a forum where you can share and you can learn off each other. Because especially if you're coming from a corporate world like ours.
Oh, yeah.
When was, I don't remember last time I sat with a Matthew and did PNL. That became much later in my career, at least in my career.
Yeah, no, mine came a little earlier.
Yeah, because you had the department.
I had a whole department, right?
Yeah.
And I had to ensure that at one point, I remember during recession, during the peak recession, I'm talking 2008, 2007, 8, literally, I was the only unit running on a profit.
Correct.
And I had to support an agency, not just my department. But that said, when I opened Artezaar, I was not Matthew and Joya. These were our head finance guys, if I want to put it that way. We relied on them for everything at MEC. I had to learn how to do accounts. Yeah. I had to learn, all the terminologies and all. And I kept saying, I said, wow.
And then nowadays I go around saying, I don't even, I'm not good at finance. So I'm like, 2 + 2 for me is 22. And people are like, oh, that works then because it's more than 4. I'm like, but, for a business, it doesn't work that way. And just by joining...
But you need help. I've always realized that.
100%.
I have an accountant on board.
So I have a team, but predominantly admin operations. And the admin girl maintains the books and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then I've hired a part-time accountant who reconciles.
Exactly.
But all that has taken time, and I've learned that over the last, 2 years. But the business mentor group which I've joined, which is Mastermind by Munir Samnani, I would say that it's been 4 months, 5 months. It's really given me a lot of support, introduced me to people from different walks of life, but all soulpreneurs, small, medium entrepreneurs, startups, and everybody sharing, being accountable to each other, following up on each other. And some bigger ones who then help us smaller ones out of the goodness of that. Nobody's getting anything out of anything. We're just, part of a group. And nobody needs to go out of their way for anybody. But I think he's built a great community, a business community, and we really work hard to kind of support each other. So I think that's important for every business, especially the entrepreneurs and soulpreneurs. You get lost. I'm like, okay, now where do I go for this? Or how do I open a bank account? Or, so when you join a business forum or like-minded people, it makes it that much easier, especially when you're coming from corporate.
So coming from media and going into food and setting up your own business, right? It must have been scary. Wasn't easy, definitely. Who was your biggest supporter?
I have quite a few.
Go for it.
I wouldn't name all of them, to be fair, but I have been super blessed to be to have married who I married. Sanjay, and you know him very well. I mean, any woman would be blessed to have such a big champion behind her. Like, he never stopped me. Even when I was in media, to be fair, even when I was in my job, it was late nights, long weekends, missed occasions, no family holidays. You know how it was handling one of the largest, biggest accounts,
Right.
In the retail space was not easy. But never once was it that, why do you need to go to a fashion event and come home at 2 a.m, or, the radio trips that we would take with clients. Whatever it was, he was always supportive. And today, when I receive messages from clients about, how well the event went and how his messages, his replies to me, I mean, anybody would die to be married to someone. The greatest supporter, I would have to say, more than anybody, and I'm not just saying it because he's my husband, has to have been him, is him, for sure. The list can go on from family to friends. There are a few friends who only talk about my food and my catering wherever they go. They're part of, large consortium of like social groups and card groups and building kitties, and the only thing they talk about is you have to try. Well, I don't want to get into names because then the list gets long, and if I miss somebody, it will be...
But it's good because your food spoke volumes.
Yeah, and some of these people I'm talking about, they wouldn't put their neck out if they didn't believe in my product.
Exactly. I remember when we would find out you've brought biryani to work, we never ordered.
I have some...
We ran to your desk and we all ate from the same pot. I'm not kidding. We all ate.
I was having a chat with Sundar the other day, from who used to be a Sony,
Yes.
and then he was at Star and stuff. And he was saying how he remembered how he would come across to the office, once a month just to eat my food. And then he would tell me to make sure Prasad's food doesn't have onion and garlic. And I would even, accommodate
remember
that
him.
and make special food for him without onion and garlic. So food's my passion. I've actually learned a new
I would bring
term.
cakes, you would bring food.
Yeah.
That was
and
how
we
it
were
was.
like a pair
We were,
and
that was how it was. Christmas was just that.
And I've learned a new terminology recently, and I love it, and I coin it for myself. I'm actually a passionpreneur.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, I am, and I'm at heart out and out a passionpreneur. That's who I am. I literally, but because I need to make it an on entrepreneur journey, the preneur bit is there, but I run it through passion. For me, there's no weekend, there's no weekday. I don't see day, night. Social gatherings are a secondary thought for me. That first I need to make sure my catering is going well, and even if I reach at 12 or 1 in the morning and I don't reach, I don't have FOMO anymore that I need to be. No, for me it's all about my passion and
I like
my
that
journey.
passionpreneur one.
Yeah,
Because that describes me too. I love
There
it.
you go.
Love it. Love it. Love it. That's a good term, guys. We're going to use this. We're going to give her credit, but we'll use
Yes,
it.
please do, because
Yes.
I think we're a lot of passionpreneurs, and I think female, especially women, we run our businesses and sing out from a place of passion. So I think this term is perfect.
It's amazing. That's amazing. So Tamanna, we have a new section. It's called Did You Know? Tell us 3 things a lot of us didn't know about you.
3 things that... I'm quite an open book, actually, because I have my own Instagram kind of blog handle where I talk about... It used to be called Tammy's Losing It, but now it's called Tammy's Doing It, because I don't think I can lose much more weight, because I think I've just reached a plateau in this, according to my doctor. This is my dead body weight. I think he should be dead. But
Oh my God.
Nitin, He said to me, I said, but I'm doing everything. He's like, there's some point you reach where this is your dead body weight. I said, Nitin, you're going to be dead if you say this. I work out freaking 6 days a week, and that's not fair.
But you did go through a fitness journey.
Yeah, so I mean, for those that are obviously don't follow me and haven't met me before, I have lost 55 kilos or plus over the last 10, 12 years. It's been a very long journey. People lose 55 kilos in a year and they're like, oh, wow, we've done it. But two things. One is obviously with my work and my, at that time, hours, and even now with the business I'm in, it's not easy to even just maintain, forget about, keep up the weight loss. So I think, hats off to me for doing it and for keeping it off, because those that lose 55 kilos in a year or 2 years, they're easy to put it back on as well, right? So one is to lose it, and then the journey to put it on has been, so that for those who don't know me, that's something definitely I would like to put out there, that it's a journey. It's there's no race to it. And if you want to maintain it, then it should be a slow and steady process. And yeah, so that's 55 kilos, point number one. Secondly, something that not a lot of people talk about, but I'm quite open about it. I had my son through surrogacy. He's going to be 8 next week. And I love him to bits. So I do encourage anybody who's ever struggling that it's a beautiful journey. It doesn't matter, surrogacy or not. The child is yours out and out, and you grow to love him and he grows to love you. And so yeah, that would be
he has those cheeks of yours.
Yeah, he's mama's boy for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Sanj. So but it's okay. He's got Papa's obsession for soccer and a few other things. So it's a good balance. And third thing that nobody knows about me, like I said, I'm quite an open book. But traveling's my thing. Back then, now I used to travel 3, 4, 5 times a year. I prefer to do shorter trips, 4 days, 5 days, because back then and even now, it's high pressure work. I just need a couple of days to switch off.
I do that a lot. Yeah, I disappear 5 days and then come back, I'm recharged. 3 months later, disappear 5 days, recharge.
Yeah, people don't understand that because a lot of people prefer longer holidays, take the summer off. I would go mad.
I would go mad.
Because of my fitness journey and, the clean eating that I do, I could never stay anywhere more than 4 or 5 days because I would run out of things to eat, and I miss my dal chila and my home cooked food. But yeah.
I start maybe because of the work pressure. I remember I used to get leave, like literally I would look at my calendar and then I would run with a leave form saying, I have an empty week. Can I run now? And then I would run. Whatever visa was on my passport, wherever I could go, I picked a flight, I booked the hotel, and I ran. And I think I got used to those short breaks, and that kept me charged.
Yeah, and I guess that's what we're used to, right? So that's
yeah, long break. If somebody tells me take 3 weeks off, I think after a week, I'm like, okay, now what?
People go through the summer and they've gone from here to there and they've done like all of July and August, and I'm like, really?
I can't.
And I guess maybe because of our history.
Yeah, because of our history of our work.
What we're used to. I remember being in Prague, in central Prague, and having a client conference call for like an hour, standing in the square, and my friend looks at me and it's like, this is your idea of a holiday. So the choice was to cancel or to agree to have this 1 hour call with back then Zain and and the client, and so
we did what we did.
But I traveled. I said I'll travel and I'll be connected from there. But I will not.
I did that with Iceland and Alaska.
Really?
I remember that. I had to be connected in Alaska and I had to be connected in Iceland, and because I had productions happening. So then the edits which would come out, the client would need you to.
And I was like that on most my vacations, and I'm still like that. Even like this year, for some reason, I've been to Turkey 3 times, and each of the trips I would spend at least an hour or 2 in cafes, client calls, curating menus for them, blah blah. But just because I'm working, that doesn't mean I can't enjoy myself. And with the way work is, then I'll never be able to take time off, right? So it's okay to be connected. And, some people feel, oh, when you're taking a holiday, you should switch off. But again,
Yeah, I am the same. I'll make sure in the morning my inbox is cleared out. If anything needs to get done, I'll delegate it, get it done, enjoy the day, come back, check again. But I guess that's a habit we can't take out of us because we came from media.
yeah, inculcated.
Hello, Mr. Mohan Nambiar. Hello, Mr. Mohan
I was just
Nambiar.
gonna say,
This is because of you.
we have Mohan to blame for this.
Yeah. He's one of the best bosses we've had. We have to give him that.
Ever.
So yeah, we kind of put everything on him.
Yeah, the goods and the bads.
And the goods and the bads. So yeah, but those were good days.
They were beautiful days. I feel like they were a lifetime ago, though. Sometimes I think about it back then, and I bump into people. And just media for me, right? Because I've completely left media, and it's just now food, and I interact with chefs and waitresses.
Yeah, mine is different. I interact with kids and moms and artists, and I've left media again. So it's fun to pick up the phone and speak to Sundar or Shekhar or Prasad or Manoj or any of them.
Yeah, like, and that's what people say. What do you miss most about your corporate and about your job? I said, other than my paycheck, which I definitely miss.
Yeah.
It's about human engagement, interaction with like-minded people, right? Because, like you said, you're with the kids, I'm with chefs, and more like not people of our like wavelength, and so that's what I miss the most. Actually, it's just engaging with people of
But also
similar-
we went through 15, 20, 22 years of media. That's it. And now we've just started this journey. Mine's been 3 years. Yours has been close to 3 years as well. And you can't let go of 15, 20 years of heritage. You can't.
So finally, like I have long-term memory loss overall. Maybe I just block it out. Like for me, like now I'm like, what are GRPs? What?
I still remember them. If you give me a media
What's the
plan, I'll still crack it.
Now I can tell you how to toss amazing stir fry and how to make sure the biryani has got a good, flavor. And so like I guess I'm agile that way, and I've just kind of put that in a different space and compartment.
Yeah, no, I don't think I left that compartment because for me, building an e-commerce still required me to use everything that I learned.
Yeah, I just completely changed lines. Like it was just of 360. So for me, I miss that the most. I think is that having a team around, having team lunches. Every time it rains, I still have the group with some of my team members, and I'm like, guys, how many chai should I order? How many samosa should I order? Let's meet at the bridge. We'll joke around once in a while about
Go
those
downstairs.
days. Yeah. Those sessions downstairs. So they were.
We had one of the best. We were very blessed. I have to say that. Very blessed.
I don't think anybody had a corporate experience that we had, and we really. We have Mohan to thank for that, and the rest of the core management. They really made it like a family.
It was a family. It was really, and I think I know some of you who are listening to us from a corporate world. We cannot describe what we had for those years. It was just something special. We can't put it in words.
When people like teams joined after, and I would tell them, and they're like, but we don't understand. And I'm like, you won't understand because now it's different.
It's very different.
Once we grew, and it became just...
It was very different. It was really nice. So you knew me as Crazy Lena because I always did crazy things at MEC,
Still do
right?
know you as Crazy Lena.
Crazy Lena. So it's Crazy Lena question time.
Oh.
If you were not into food, what would you be in?
Because before this, I dabbled in makhanas, if you remember. And
Yes.
that's also
Food.
food. But I would be... Don't go by the way I look, into fitness and well-being. And that would be my other natural calling because of my journey and how I feel that people my size and, struggle. I was 121 kilos at one point. And I was very confident. I mean, you knew me then.
I knew you, yeah.
I didn't care I was 120 kilos. I didn't care what people thought of me. But I think that's where I would go. Like, and that also, I think, to keep me more on track as well. That would be also a selfish reason that I would have maybe chosen that, so that I can stay on track and I can inspire people and be inspired to stay on track. But yeah, I think fitness and wellness would be balance. Actually, would be where I would kind of like concentrate if I was not in F.
And what's the one piece of advice you'll give passionpreneurs?
Passionpreneurs, keep the passion alive. That's my main thing. Don't complicate it too much. So that, and I know we all wanted to make it a big blue chip multinational stock exchange. Not everything has to be that. As long as it's not in a loss, it's paying your bills, it's doing money. And I know people are going to tell me that it's better to cry in a BMW than in an XYZ or on the bus. But literally coming from where I come, money isn't everything. Passion drives everything. I always said that when I was passionate about media. I said the day I would wait, and because I love client servicing, I love people, and that's why I stayed in the media so many years. And I said the day I wake up saying that I don't feel like going to work will be the day I quit. And literally, I think it was that week. I had a very difficult client on board. It had been a year and I couldn't take it anymore. And I actually threw in the towel because I said that to myself one of the mornings that I can't do this anymore.
And I'm done.
And I'm done. And that's the same thing, I think, even with your business. Till passion is driving it, till you love what you do, keep doing it. God forbid it doesn't work out and the passion dies, or even you're passionate and it's not making money. It's okay to fail. I had a makhana business, and due to COVID and due to overheads and due to oil prices and shipping prices, everything wasn't working. So I've put it on the back shelf for now, and I've invested close to $500,000 on it at that time, and I was like, it's fine. Had I spent $500,000 at a Harvard Business School, would I have learned what I learned? Life experiences cost money. This cost me money. It did. I used a lot of my savings on it. I don't have a big sugar daddy somewhere. We used a lot of but I took it as an educational cost and a learning cost. And I moved on from there. So I would say let passion drive you, but also be smart and practical about it, because I still eat those makhanas. I still order my boxes for my consumption, for my snacking. So I know the product is amazing, and whoever had bought it always keeps messaging me saying, when are you getting stock in? So I know it was great, but I knew I didn't have enough deep pockets and stuff to kind of turn it into a successful. So I pulled the plug. So be passionate, but be practical.
Practical as well. Yeah, even my dad said the same. When I was thinking about doing this and when he came up with the whole idea, he said, give it a try. All your life you've worked. Put a year, 2 years, 3 years. You can always go back to media, because it's not like you're smart, you can. But don't look back and say, I didn't do it.
Yeah, no regrets.
He said, don't have regret. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. It was meant for that amount of time only.
100%.
He goes, life changes.
Just a little quick backstory on where this cafe started. Other than I was passionate about it, fine. I was sitting at home in COVID, lockdown. My husband is based out of Africa. I didn't know what to do with myself. The makhanas weren't moving, obviously, because of, shipping, and supermarkets were shut and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I'm good at food. To pass my time, other than working out for 2 hours, what do I do? So let me start putting weekly meals online. And that's what I started doing. I curated a menu for the whole week. And then my brother's friends started ordering. And everybody knew my food is good. And then ex-clients started ordering. And then it became that, okay, now things are opening up slightly. Can you do a dinner for 6? Can you send us food for 8? And most caterers didn't do that. They wanted minimum numbers and blah, blah, blah. And I started there at 6 and 8. And then it's like, can we do a dinner for 12? And today I'm doing dinners for 100, 150 people. But I started baby steps, right?
Baby.
It's, and trial and error. And, there were so many errors along the way. And I learn every day. But if you don't try, you won't know.
You won't know. We don't learn knowing. We don't come to this world knowing anything.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure.
And with this passion, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming, Tamanna. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
I am so grateful for this opportunity, and I'm glad that we've caught up after so long.
I know.
And I wish you all the best with this.
I wish you all the best, guys.
A lot more passionpreneurs.
Oh, yes, a lot more passionatepreneurs. And I'm leaving all the links below for Cafe 971. Please feel free to reach out to Tamanna, please. Try her food. I guarantee you won't regret it. It is amazing. We grew up eating it. Let's put it that way. And keep spreading the joy of love. Keep spreading the joy of food, the joy of passion. Keep growing, guys. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Have a great day.
Bye.